I've started recording. If you don't want to be seen on video, I would advise you turn off your video but then just so that we can share this to other people who may not be able to join. All right. Thank you. So we'll just go in and start. So Remi, I think we could all both answer from both our experiences and just to share it from different perspectives as well. Yeah. And if Raphael is on, he should just give me a wave or whatever and just let me know he's here. Okay. So what is the cutoff class? Can someone with a 2.2 or a second class lower apply? So generally, I think the minimum you need is a second class upper to be able to apply. But then if you have a second class lower plus professional experience, maybe working, you have a certification, you've been working for some years and you can prove that this scholarship, investing in you can help amplify your work, especially in aspects of leadership, development, impact in your home country. Please go ahead, because I've seen people with second class lower do this and position themselves using their experience, with work experience especially, to push, to pitch themselves that they are worth investing into. And just before I go on with the question, I think it's important to say this, that a scholarship we have for PhDs and masters, it's only funded for PhDs and masters. It doesn't fund for undergrads. And for masters, there are different types. We have the Commonwealth Scholarship itself. This is where your country nominates agencies, selected agencies nominate individuals from the specific countries. And then this process is a two-phase process. So your agency nominates you, and then the Commonwealth Commission also goes through another screening to select the individuals. I think I have to mute everybody so that we can be able to not have distractions. Okay, so with the Commonwealth Scholarship itself, like I'm saying, your agency nominates you, and then the commission also goes through another screening to nominate you. Then we have the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. This is where there is a collaborative effort between the UK university you have applied to, plus the commission itself, collaborating to support the individual or the applicant. And then we have the PhD scholarship. This is selected countries where you're fully funded for your PhD. And then the split side is where you're doing a PhD in your home country, but then you offer the scholarship to come over for 1 year in the UK, which is that has some sort of a partnership with your home country university. So you just do part of the work in your home country university and then come over to the UK for 1 year in the partnership university here in the UK, where it's funded by the commission. And then we also have the distance learning, where you have you just apply to the UK university and then just study and do the course back at home, but everything is funded and support is given to you. You don't come over to the UK. All right, so hello, Remi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome.
And I think Raphael is back too.
Hi, Raphael, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I had some network glitch, so I had to log off and then come back. It's still now. Yeah.
All right. So Raphael is here. Raphael is a recent nominee for the scholarship. Congratulations on your scholarship. This is going to be, I say, arguably it's going to be one of the most transformative years of your life. And I hope you actually leverage and take advantage of all the opportunities it offers. So Raphael, as a recent successful applicant, I would want you to be able to address some of these questions, especially regarding the eligibility and requirements aspect of the application. Yes. So can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
So great. So in terms of let me just handle these few parts. In terms of an age, someone asked about an age cutoff point. I don't think there is a specific age cutoff point. I've seen people in their 40s, I've seen people in their 30s gain this, but I think it also depends on the UK university you're applying to, because some specific UK universities, there's an age cutoff point for the program you're applying to. So it's important to check and to check all that eligibility criteria. But I think for the scholarship itself, I don't think there is an age cutoff point. Do you need IELTS to apply? Raphael, could you speak to this?
All right, yeah, thank you. So for the IELTS, for the scholarship itself, you don't need the IELTS, but for some universities, you would need to prove that you can read and then write and then speak English well. But most UK universities now are waiving this English requirement, especially when you are from an English-speaking country, and then also when your undergraduate degree is entirely in English, they will be able to waive it for you. So for the scholarship application, you don't need IELTS, but for some universities, you may need it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, this was the situation for me. I was on a reserve list, but then I needed to write my IELTS to pass. They were not the university I applied to was not taking my WASI, because there was another university that was willing to take my WASI results. But then this particular university that offered me the Commonwealth Scholarship needed me to write my IELTS to get upgraded to the full scholarship. So even though the scholarship itself did not require me to have the IELTS, I needed to write it for the UK university to confirm my admission so that the scholarship will be offered. So, and then we move on to, do you need a PhD publication?
No, I don't think you need a PhD publication. I didn't have any publication before I even applied, because during application, at that stage where they were asking if I had any publication, I just said no, I didn't. But I had work experience, and I did volunteering and all other extracurricular activities. So that was what I also used. So you don't really have to get a publication before you apply.
Yeah. So, but for those applying for PhD, it puts you in a stronger position when you have publications. So if you want to apply, you've already done some work and you think you have publications, yes, it puts you in a stronger position. But if you don't have publications, just talk about your experience and then move from there and how that positions you. Yeah. And can someone with a previous master's apply?
Yeah, so with the previous masters, you can apply only if it wasn't funded by the British government. So if you had a Chevening Masters or Commonwealth Masters, the split side scholarship, and then all those, then you are not eligible. But if you have masters from outside a different school that is not funded by Commonwealth, then you are eligible to apply. Because even in my batch, this current 2025 batch, someone has got about a couple of people, they had masters, but not funded by Commonwealth, and then they had it. So it's possible with a master's from a different side or a different university aside the sponsoring body, you are eligible to apply. So there's no limitation. Yeah.
And what if my degree was in a different field?
Oh,
can I still apply?
You can get all the fields you're looking for. So the application is divided into, I think, about 5 subfields. So each field has its own programs that they run. And in my case, mine was science and technology for development. So all those STEM subjects that you do in school, they are listed over there. But one thing we should also take care of is that every year with each specific subject that comes in. So probably you might want to do a specific subject, but the application window for that particular year, that subject isn't listed. That doesn't mean that probably the following year they may not list it again. So it's something like it comes and then goes. So for this year, electrical engineering, and then the following year they might not bring the electrical engineering again, but they'll bring a different engineering subject. And then in addition, the schools too, they have slots for the shared scholarship, particularly the one that I have. The schools, they have slots. So each and every year they send out their slots that, oh, we require this number of students that we can sponsor. So it depends. So for the field, yes, they have different fields, but if it is listed in the programs that they are sponsoring for that particular year, then you are eligible to apply.
Yeah. So it's important to note that the Commonwealth Scholarship or the Commission does not fund every course in every university that is listed on their website. There are specific courses that they select and nominate people. They select or post that they say. So it's important to go on the website to check, especially with the university you want to apply to, that what are the courses or whatever course you're applying for. It's important to also note and check if the Commonwealth Scholarship funds that particular course, because it's not every course they fund. And like Raphael was saying, let's say you have a previous degree in, let's say, chemistry. It's important that you are able to, in your application, specify that how does that relate to, let's say you got an admission for an MSc in policy. How does your science background help in the training you've had in your science background help you to be able to make, how do you call it? Study this policy, or how does it link to this policy masters that can be able to help development or impact in your country? So it's important to link it. So it may be different, but find that link and link it to the course and how that helps the development. So we have to move a bit faster. So we will move to, so Raphael, just tell us briefly who qualifies to apply and what's the criteria.
Okay, so qualification, anybody qualifies to apply, age, race, limit. So far as you are part of the Commonwealth countries, you qualify to apply with, as stated on their website, second class upper at least, but there are exceptions. Some people have second class lower and then they get nominated or sponsored. So anybody qualifies to apply so far as you have the necessary skills that is needed, which can be found on the website, then you can give it your try or give it your best.
Okay, great. So someone is asking, what's the difference between, I've already explained this, but let me just briefly say the difference between the Commonwealth Masters and the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship is that the Commonwealth itself, the Commonwealth Masters itself is funded. You're selected by an agency in your country, and you go through 2 phases of selection. Your agency selects you, and then the Commonwealth Commission selects you. Then you're funded. But then with the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, it's as a kind of a collaboration between the UK government and the Commission. So the UK university you're applying to and the Commission. So you can be, I am on the Shared Scholarship, and I applied to Durham University. I got a master's in Durham University. Then Durham says that we want this person to be funded, and then the Commonwealth funds me. So that is the main difference. And then the also the funding is split between these 2 organizations, your UK university and then the Commonwealth. So my UK university pays my stipend, and the Commonwealth pays my university fees. It's also, some other universities also have the reverse, where the UK university pays for your school fees, and then the Commonwealth Commission funds your stipend and other expenses. I hope this makes sense. But let's move on to eligibility for NGO workers, teachers, and professionals. Yes, people who have work, volunteer works, experience, professional experience, you are in a very strong position to apply. So you can go ahead and apply. We what scholarship?
Yeah, and then
Raphael,
I want to add a little to the NGO teachers and then this. So myself, I'm a professional. I have about over 8 years of experience in water treatment. So I leveraged that experience I had with some volunteering work to be able to craft a very good application. So whether you're a professional, you can apply. So far as you qualify, just go ahead and do.
Yeah. So there are, okay. Alpha, are you done?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So someone is asking what agency. So for instance, in Ghana, the scholarship secretariat nominates people. Is that true, Raphael?
Yes.
So I don't know if they are still doing it here. So there are specific agencies, partner agencies with who partner with the Commonwealth Commission. All these agencies are listed on the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission's website. So you can go through and find, I don't know what agencies in Nigeria. Could you mention some of the agencies, Raphael? And then if Remi could also help us, if possible, with some of the agencies in Nigeria. Yeah.
So for Ghana, it's solely the Scholarship Secretariat, Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. They are the sole nominating agency for the Commonwealth Masters Scholarship. And even this year's application window, when you go to the website, you could see that in Ghana, they listed only the Scholarship Secretariat. So that's for Ghana.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Remi.
Yeah, so for Nigeria, you have two agencies. We have the Federal Scholarship Board, that's the national agency, and we have FAWE. I believe that's the acronym for Federal. I forget the full meaning now, but it's an agency for women. So only women apply to that to that agency. Then every other, whether you're a man or a woman, you can apply to the scholarship board. So those are just the two routes.
Okay. So someone also says there's the FAWE for women. I think it's specifically targeted at women in Ghana as well. So thank you.
Okay.
So Remi, I think it's not. I think you should come in sometimes so you don't just focus on the other aspect. Anyway, so what does the scholarship cover? The scholarship covers your tuition, your stipend, it covers accommodation, it covers your flight into the UK and out of the into the UK when you're about to start, that's around September, and then out of the UK after your studies. It covers your warm clothing allowance when you come into the UK. The place is cold, so you're given some allowance for warm clothing when you get some warm clothing. It covers your NHS. It covers some parts of some aspects of your medical, some health related, I've forgotten the name for it, but then when it comes to your medical aspects, and then I don't know if I've covered everything.
Yeah, it covers visa application too.
Visa application, yes.
And then,
it covers your visa application.
Yeah, tuberculosis test certificate.
Yes.
Covers it too.
Yeah.
And then travel allowance.
Yes.
Yeah, during your
And
studies.
you're doing your studies, your grants, some grants for you to help you. So it literally makes you comfortable to study in the UK. So whatever terms of, it doesn't give you any financial burden when it comes to studying in the UK. Everything is covered, literally everything. So, and then let's move on to do I need to secure application before applying? Can I apply to multiple universities? Raphael, could you take that?
Right. Yeah. So you don't really have to secure an admission you don't really have to apply to the university before applying for the scholarship. You can do both at the same time or apply to the scholarship first, since it has a shorter application window before you turn to the universities you have selected during the scholarship application. And yeah, you can apply to as many universities as you want, because one thing I was told during my application is that if you apply to more universities, you have a higher chance of getting nominated. But if you apply to only 1 or 2 universities, the chance of getting nominated is low. So apply to as many universities as you want. At least 5 is fine, and then just do the Commonwealth application first before you turn to the universities you selected during the application. And I think that's all. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then I think, Shani, could you write in the how do you call it, in the comment section, the agency? Someone keeps asking what someone keeps asking about the agency. I don't know if you could type that in for them. Raphael.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do I need to secure? Okay, you've answered role of Ghana scholarship. I think we've already done that.
Yes.
We'll just move into the number 2, which is application process and the documents. So the checklist. What do I need to do before I prepare? Because the application is currently open. It closes on the 14th of October, 2025. So what do I need to do, Raphael, in terms of preparation? Yeah.
So in terms of preparation, you really have to prepare, because there are a lot of essays you write. For the shared scholarship that I did, there are about 11 essays. So you have to prepare well. And then one thing I always tell people is that identify a development problem or identify a development challenge in your locality, in your country, and then put it out there. Then tell the scholarship committee that this is a challenge I am facing or we are facing in the country. And then this is the proposed solution, I think. And this is how the scholarship or the program I'm going to do is going to help address that challenge. And then also you have to get your passport, active passport. It must be, at least 6 months. You must get it, your transcripts, you have to get your transcripts. And you have to get your undergraduate certificate too as well. And yeah, those are the important documents. And then your CV too. Yes, your CV. Your CV has to also be ready when doing the applications. And I think those are the important documents. So your passport, your transcript, undergraduate transcript, your certificate, undergraduate certificate, your CV, the 4 main important documents during the scholarship application. But for the school, when you're applying to the school, there are additional documents. Some schools require English language test, so you can use your WASI, you can use the IELTS, and then if you can get a proficiency letter from your university stating that you did your undergraduate course in English, you can also use that. So let me reiterate again, for the scholarship, your CV, passport, transcript, and then undergraduate certificate. For the school you are applying to, your CV also is included, passport, undergraduate certificates, your transcripts, your English test. Yeah.
Great. So can I apply with my transcripts only? What if my dissertation is not yet defended?
So you can't apply with your transcripts only. You need a certificate, but they made a provision that you can get what's the name, when you are about finishing. So you can get a letter from the school that, oh, okay, you are in your final year and you'll be able to finish by this time. So if you're able to get that letter, you can add it to your unofficial transcript and then use it to apply, so that when the official transcript and then the certificate is ready, you just add it to it. Yes.
Okay, great. The timeline, when applications roll out. So the applications are currently open. It closes on the 14th of October for both the master's and the PhD. Do I apply to UK universities first or the Commonwealth first, Raphael?
I think I answered the question
That's
earlier on, but yeah.
okay.
So apply to the Commonwealth first, since it has a shorter application window of about 1 month. So I
Yeah.
will advise you apply to the Commonwealth first. After that, before you turn on to the universities, but you should also apply to the universities immediately, because immediately after the Commonwealth application closes, they start reviewing the applicants' essays. So you have to do
Mhm.
both at once and then quickly. And then for the
Mhm.
Commonwealth Scholarship, Shared Scholarship, the application normally opens in November, and then
Yes.
early November, and then closes first week of December. Yes.
Okay. So, and then how to apply through Ghana Scholarship Secretariat? Could you do this briefly for us as well? Yeah.
Okay, so for that is the current one. So when you go to the website, there is a template that you have to fill. So you download the template, fill it, and then submit it to the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. As Judith said earlier on, so they will nominate you that, okay, we have nominated this person for the scholarship, and then they will send the list to the funding body, which is the British government, and they will now do their nomination. So it's a two-step application. First, you go to the website, you download the template, the application template, you fill it, and then submit to the Ghana Scholarship before the rest continues. Yeah.
Yeah. Remi, is there a different way with the agencies in Nigeria? If you could highlight that as well.
Okay, thank you, Judith. Pardon me, I was a bit distracted. I was trying to respond to some things on the in the chat box. But if I get your
That's fine.
question, asking what the process is for master
Yeah.
scholarship.
For the masters, yes.
Yes. So piggybacking on what Raphael has said, after you apply via the Commonwealth's website, and then you go check the website of your relevant agencies. For Nigeria, like I said, FAWE and the Federal Scholarship Board. So Federal Scholarship Board in November, I think early November, keep checking their website. They would issue a timetable for, depending on your region, if you're from the Southwest, Northwest, and all of that, they will tell you the date that you need to come to Abuja. So all roads lead to Abuja, so long as you want to apply for through your agency in your country, right? And then so when you get your date, you go for the interview, and then when they're done with the interview, if you're successful, they will, I think, reach out to Commonwealth. Commonwealth will be the one to tell you whether or not you got the scholarship. So don't expect to get feedback from the national agency or from FAWE. But for now, what you need to do is when you apply, reach out or go check the website of either of these agencies, depending on the one you want, and then they will give you further information.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So, Raphael, can I use generic recommendation letters, or should I mix academic and professional references?
For generic recommendation letters, I won't advise you to use it. No. Let the recommendation letter be specific. The person must know you, know your work, know who you are. Because actually, let me actually borrow this from Dr. Banda Khalifa. He actually said that, yes, the person writing the recommendation letter and then the person reading the recommendation letter is as if he has already known the person coming. So your recommender must write a good recommendation letter that the person reading it will think that he or she has already met you. So no generic recommendation letters. I won't advise that at all. And then also, yes, you can mix academic and then professional. For me, I have one professional recommendation and then two academic recommendation. So you can mix. Just that it shouldn't be generic.
Okay,
Yes.
can I chip in something quickly?
Yes.
Yeah, so on the reference, wonderful thing what Raphael has said. I also want to say that you need to get someone that likes you to write your reference letter. And that I don't say that lightly. Someone that believes so much in you, even almost more than you believe in yourself. And I say this because I remember going for the Federal Scholarship Board's interview, and when one of the professors looked at my reference letter, it wasn't so much as to the caliber of the person who wrote it, but as to the content. He was shocked that someone would sit and take their time to write 2 pages worth of, something for me.
Yeah.
And the man was like, oh, I'm going to go read this. So you want someone who really likes you and then who knows your worth, your value, and who you are to write a very specific recommendation letter for you. Like Raphael said, it will go a very long way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that even answers our next question on the guidance of academic professional. So it has to be, it's better to have a balanced if you have a professional experience, it's good to have that balance where you have professional recommendations and academic as well. And then can I use tools like Grammarly, ChatGPT to polish my essays?
Yeah, in to some extent you can use, especially for Grammarly. Yeah, it's just to correct your tenses and then everything. But ChatGPT, you have to be very careful. You have to be very careful. Yes,
Yeah,
they
I
ask
know that Chevening doesn't take that at all, but I don't think it's that strict with Commonwealth because, yeah, but then Raphael, you finish, I'll come in later.
you have to be very careful with the ChatGPT. What
Mhm.
the Commonwealth is asking you is not asking the AI, it's asking you. So you have to give your answer. If you put it to
Yeah.
ChatGPT, it can give you a generic answer. You understand? So you have to be very careful with the ChatGPT. What I will advise is that when they give you the question like that, during my application, what I did, I copied the question and then I posted it to ChatGPT. This is the question.
Yeah.
What do they want? What answer are they looking for? What elements are they looking for in the answer? Then ChatGPT explains the thing very well for me. Then I'm able to understand what they need in the question. And then in my own words, I just write it. So don't let ChatGPT write the essays for you. It's dangerous and like risky. Yeah.
Yeah. It can let your application be thrown out completely, especially when you write something and it's so generic that it doesn't show your personality, it doesn't show anything, it doesn't reflect who you are in the essay. Because the most important aspect of this application, I think, is your essays, and your personality has to shine through, your work has to shine through, because you're not sitting in front of the person asking you these questions. Is your whatever answer you're given is what is going to sell you or pitch you to that team or that board that you are worth investing into. So producing generic responses will not position you in the right place at all. So that takes us into the number 3 agenda, which is writing the essays. And Remi will be answering a lot of the questions here, but then I'll be bringing in Raphael as well. How do we approach the shared scholarship essays or the Commonwealth essays? So, Remi, tips on compelling essays, especially with the impact, the developments, the statement of purpose. Could you give us some highlights of this here?
Okay, thank you, Judith. First thing I want to say is that beyond this webinar, I feel that it's best that everyone goes to the website to check or write out all of the essay questions that you need to answer, because there's so much that we can tell you here. You need to also understand what the questions are yourself and start preparing a sketch. So first thing is there are about 11 essays, each having different word space. What would I say? Word count now.
Yes.
And so you need to be clear. I'd say you need to be concise, not beating about the bush. No, thank you very much for this wonderful question. I would like to go into answering it now. You don't need all of that because you don't even have enough word count to start with. You just want to be punchy. Okay, so my go-to statement is you want to be punchy when you start and you want to be punchy when you finish, because the first thing they read about you is important. The body is also important. That's like 99%. But for me personally, I think that the introduction and the conclusion, if you give the body 99, those two must carry 100, because the first is the first thing they read about you and your conclusion is the last thing that they go home with. So you want to be very punchy. I also would say that you want to be a storyteller. This is where you need to understand how to tell a story. I like to say that no matter how amazing you are, no matter how, no, even if you're the one that would change the entire course of the world for good, if they don't know you. They don't know that you have that ability. So this is not the time for you to be modest or falsely humble, right? You want to go there and say, this is who I am, this is what I carry, and this is what you stand to miss if you don't give me the scholarship. That is what they want to know. Who are you? So you want to go out and tell them. And when you're telling them, don't just go prose form. You want to use a structure, which is this common STAR structure, your situation, your task, your actions, and your results. So if they're asking you about leadership, you want to tell them the situation, how you even got into it, or what you had to do, task, what are your actions, and then what are the results. They're asking you how you network. You want to tell them, number one, situation, how you met this person, the task, how you maintained connection, your actions, how it went on back and forth, and your results, what that has culminated into. So you want to use that structure throughout all the essays that you write so that they're able to see clearly. I don't know, I mean, I'm not an assessor, but I don't know if there are, my guess is there might be marks allocated to each of these, modalities or structure. So you want to be very clear and concise. What other thing? I would just say that, yes, this is very important. Link your stories to the development outcomes, right?
Yeah.
And so if they're telling you that, if they've asked you what's the development outcome you want to see when you do this master's, and you're telling them, oh, I want to see that there's climate change awareness, for instance, in Nigeria, and your stories are not telling them that you're even interested, there's nothing that you've done that links to, okay, this person knows what they're doing, there's something related to what they've done so far and what they intend to do, then I don't think you're going to be convincing enough. And this is where I want to talk about research. You must show them that you've done your research, right? So I remember one of my essays, I mentioned to them how I understand that what the UK is doing, one of their priority areas in Nigeria, is something that is related to what I want to study. I was mentioning their budget. I understood what their budget was, how much they had spent in Nigeria. I mean, just to show them that beyond me asking you for this money, I'm someone that knows my onions. I know what I'm asking for. So you want to prove to them that you've researched beyond just telling your story. Let's see if there's any other tips that, for want of time, I think that basically covers it. Or I should end by saying that you also want to always tie your essays to the scholarship. So at the end of the wonderful story you've told, you want to always tell them that everything I've said, I won't be able to achieve if I did not get the scholarship. I think that's very important.
Yeah. And it's also important to add some SDG goals in relation to what your development impact or whatever thing you were trying, because just find an SDG goal, I think there's 16 or 17, and just add 1 or 2 or 3, some say 3. I did 2 because it was only 2 that I think, and it's important to highlight some of these things because it adds, like you're saying, some research attached to the application you're doing, enriches and shows and positions you. Because what I've realized is there are people with better GPAs than me. I didn't get through with a first class, but there are people with first class who were not able to get a scholarship. It's just about positioning. It's just about how you were able to add up all these things in a very coherent way to make you a stronger applicant than anybody else. So that is really key. And then we'll just move on briefly to the structure. I think you've addressed the structure of the award-winning essays and then methodology in your essay. Could you just briefly talk on that, on the methodologies, and how to manage, so how to manage your words and word limits. The application itself, the portal itself gives you a word limit. If you go beyond it, then I don't know what you are looking for, but it gives you a word limit. If it's 200, it tells you. If it's 250, it tells you. So you try as much. I think one of the hardest things people find is how to be able to summarize an experience into 250 words and give that kind of concise answer that speaks to their experience. But then I'll hand over to Remi to be able to address that.
Yeah, thank you, Judith. So that's why you need to start now. That's why you don't have to wait till a week to the deadline. So keep writing whatever comes to mind. Keep dropping your points on your notebook or your jotter. And when eventually you're done writing, you cannot begin to summarize and take out words. It will surprise you how many space fillers you have in your essays when you're about to submit that you can take out. So start now so you have ample time to summarize later on. Just keep writing. And saving time. I already said it earlier, like Judith said, you want to just break it down to introduction, body, and conclusion. So that way you're not focusing on one aspect and leaving the other bare. Methodology, I already also mentioned, so I won't dwell too much on it. The STAR method. So they're asking you, Okay, so
Awesome.
mention what you did that showed leadership. You want to start, you don't want to say, oh, okay, I got this position, I did so well, it was amazing. That's vague, that's not clear. You're not telling me the value that you've added in that
Yeah.
position. So you want to talk about, oh, okay, I entered this organization. When I got there, for instance, I saw that the contracts were not good. So entering the organization is the situation. Getting there and seeing that, no, or let's say getting there and seeing that maybe their contracts are not so good is the situation. What is the task? The task is you found out that you needed to solve this for them because it was causing some issues. Then your action will be, oh, I walked up to my boss and I proposed something to her, and then the committee was formed to look into this. And the result is, as a result of that, this and this happened. This is the structure that you want to follow, and that way you save time.
Yeah.
And instead of going on and on and on about the entire story. And I think that basically summarizes how you can go about it well.
Yeah. I think to address the question in the chat box about feeding the ChatGPT with details about yourself, and so there are people who have been able to train, because ChatGPT is just an AI model, and you need to train it. So if you've been able to train your ChatGPT, then it knows you, it knows everything about you, it knows your experiences, it knows what professional experiences you've had and all of that. And then it generates a response that is tailored to you. And the most important thing, what we're trying to say is, when you read whatever essay, it should reflect you, not something generic. It should reflect your experiences. It should reflect what your goals and ambitions are. We're not saying don't use it at all. We're saying it can be a tool, but then there are people who overly rely on it and just go with generic responses. That is what the commission or whoever is reading the application doesn't want to see. They want to see a reflection of you. Okay, so we move on to the next, which is essays stand out. We've addressed that. How to avoid essays sounding the same. We've addressed that. How to capture SDGs. We've addressed that. How leadership qualities and impacts are evaluated. Could you speak to that, Remi? How leadership qualities and impacts are evaluated? And we are not on the board to determine that, I guess.
I was about to say that we can't
I'm
say for sure this is
sorry.
how it is assessed, but
Yeah,
I think okay, so it's not really about the titles. You don't want to care, oh, I've not held this big position before. It doesn't mean anything. It can be that you led your when you were in university, there was an assignment given to your team, and then you
yeah,
headed the team and you did so well based on certain things that happened that maybe you did so well at the end of it and you got a good result. That's leadership. Or you were in
yeah,
church and somebody, or maybe your pastor was asking for volunteers to pack the chairs, and because of how well you organized the team that packs those chairs, nobody had to sit
yeah,
outside. Everybody had a chair to sit on in church. It
yeah,
looks minute and basic, but that's leadership. So I
yeah,
just want you to have that at the back of your mind. So you don't have to have big
yeah,
titles. Anything that you've done to influence,
yeah,
even in your family, within your nuclear family, anything you've done to influence or to bring up an initiative, that's
mm,
leadership. Right. So
yeah,
I can't
yeah,
speak to how it's evaluated, but just make sure that you're
yeah,
showing clearly what you did. Even if you
yeah,
did it in a group, ensure that you're not ascribing all the credits to the group as a whole, as a collective.
yeah,
Even in the group, what did you do that stood you out, that showed
yeah,
leadership, and you're good to go?
yeah. And then could you speak to what impact in quote is
Mhm.
in leadership in the scholarship criteria? I know we are not on the board, but what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I would say that anything that you can measure, anything that evidences results is impact, no matter
Yes.
how small. Whether it's
Yeah.
small or not, it's tangible. So anything that,
Mm,
oh, I spoke to somebody or I spoke to two people as a result of that, they were motivated to apply for a job and they got it. That is impact. You've changed
mm,
someone's
mm,
life because they got a
yeah.
job. It looks small
Yeah.
to you, oh, I just had a conversation with them. That is the reason they can put food on their table. That is impact. So I want you to
Yeah.
begin to think even of the smallest things you've done, so long as you
Yeah.
can measure the results, that's
Yeah.
impact.
That, and I talk about this all the time with potential applicants. It's important to put measurable impact, not just in your essay, but in your CV as well. It's important because whatever experience, yeah, I know we're not used to this, but then even if you join an organization and it was like 10 people, you were doing the project, and then the numbers increase to, let's say, even 20. It's important to put that. If you make some difference in someone's life, it's important to put that, even if it's one person. So putting measurable impact on your CV, it positions you really strongly, and also in your in your essays as well. So thank you, Remi, for that. And common mistakes. So I think Raphael and Remi can chip in some. What are some of the most common mistakes we make with the essays?
Raphael, do you want to go first?
I think Remi should go first and then I'll add.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I don't think it's different from what I said
Yeah.
earlier, which is you don't want to be vague. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to read, oh, when they're asking you what's your long-term career plan, that's one of the essays you have to write. And I don't think
Yeah.
anyone wants to see, oh, when I come back, because of my passion, I will do so well. Humanity will be better for it. I don't think anybody wants to see that, right? I think they
Yeah.
want to see what exactly, they want to know that you know what you're doing. They want to see something like, oh,
Yeah.
when I return, oh, I currently work with the Ministry of Justice. When I return, with every skill I've gathered from my master's, I'm going to be causing a transfer to the Ministry of Energy because now I've
Yeah.
just studied energy and climate policy. So when I come back, interestingly, this so and so state is about to action their climate plan, which means I would be
Yeah.
right on time. You know, it shows that, okay, this person knows what they're coming back to do. Right?
That's
I
to
don't
do,
want
yeah.
you to be vague. You want to be specific about what you're coming to do. And like
Yeah.
Judith said, you want to come with numbers. You want to come with stuff that evidences that you know what you're talking about, right? So I don't want you to do that. That's a common mistake. Another thing that I know, happens is when you're talking about the 3 schools, because I think you have to talk about 3 schools that you pick based on priority.
Yeah.
You don't want
Yeah.
to just go to their website and copy their university brochure or something and then dump it in the essays. You want to speak to why you really want each of the schools. For instance, I remember one of the schools I picked, there was a particular lecturer I was waiting to see because she sort of had the same trajectory as myself in my career. I'm like, yeah, so and so professor, I want to meet her. This for this reason and all that. It shows that you're going beyond copy and paste. You know what you're talking about. So I think
Yeah.
that's also another mistake you want to avoid.
Yeah.
Raphael, I allow you have the floor.
Right then, okay. To add to what Remi said earlier on about the impact that you intend to put out after your application, you don't have to dream too big. Don't be over ambitious, actually. So you cannot say that after my scholarship, then I would probably you are in the situation of Ghana like this, we are now facing illegal mining, polluting our river bodies. So you cannot come and say that, oh, when I'm back from what's the name, the UK, then in 6 months all the water bodies will be clear. No, it's overambitious. It's overambitious.
Yeah.
You cannot
Yeah.
come and say that after 2 years you become the Minister for Environment. You are not yet a
Yeah.
politician. So you have to be tangible. Your goals have to be tangible. They should be counted. So
Yeah.
probably you come back, you lead what's the name? Advocacy, NGOs. You have NGOs that are advocating for clean environment. You go there, collaborate with them, teach them what you have learned. If it's at your workplace, your supervisors are there. Tell them, okay, this is what I have done. This is what I have gained. So little things, but at the long term, they have impact. So don't be over ambitious. The people themselves know that you can't do all those things, but they just want to see if you know what you are doing, if you know everything, like you know everything you are doing. And then another thing is also the AI. Please try to do everything yourself. Try to do everything yourself. If you do everything yourself and then you give it to AI to proofread for you, it is better than just dumping everything over there and then it writes a generic thing. See, when someone sends me an essay and I read, I know that the person uses AI because I've also been using AI. I know how to use AI very well. But you should be very careful, be authentic. Everything should come from you, be natural. And then another thing, people limit themselves. They feel like if they tell their sad stories, they are begging. No, put yourself out. They want to know who you are. What you are, like how your background has shaped you, has molded you into becoming who you are. So come all out, everything you have, even if it is a little thing that you think is insignificant, just put it in there. Come all out. Yeah, don't limit yourself. That's the mistake, some common mistakes some people make. Yeah.
So like Devon said, these are profound things. Clarity is important. Clarity in your essay is important. Just a summary of whatever has been said. Cite examples, measurable successes, all of it. It's important to tell your story. Like Raphael is saying, I wanted to highlight this. Whatever your experience is that has positioned you, that has made you, or has cumulatively brought you to where you are now, it's important for them to know, because, and there's nothing like, there are people who are also sometimes not just about their sad or whatever, it's not just sad, but then the limitations they faced in the past, but also people who have done so well, but because of our socialization, they feel shy to talk about. Please, it's not about you boasting, it's about telling people what you have achieved and how the scholarship can be able to help amplify whatever thing you want to do in the future. And then also tell your story with clarity and also structure. It's important that you have structure in whatever you're saying. Don't just be everywhere, not everything not scattered. Let it be coherent. Let things read beautifully, like you're telling a very beautiful story about yourself. We'll move on to the fourth one. And we're talking about positioning yourself. I think we've highlighted most of this part, how to position yourself to win and all of these things. But then I want to someone is asking about guarantee by selection. We are not on the board to determine what guarantees who and all of that. But then I think per what we've said so far, it just tells you that being able to be preparing ahead of time positions you strongly, and all of the essays and all we've talked about can be able to guarantee that it is possible. And it's not just about applying, how do you call it? You can give it a try. And if it doesn't go well, you persist. Perseverance is key, because some of the people that have gotten it, a lot of people have gotten on their second or third try. So it's not just about, it's about learning from it. If you've applied before, how do you learn from what's happened previously? Because sometimes you may not get feedback on your application, but then from what we're saying, it can be able to help you analyze, okay, I didn't do this right, I didn't do that right, so I can be able to do it better this time. And also, how do I stand out if I have limited work experience? Could any of you take this?
Okay, so I think I would go, because I have some work experience. So, but how do you stand out if you have limited work experience? The work experience depends on a lot of factors. You can also use your internship. When you are in school, you are doing internship. It's a work experience. Your undergraduate thesis, some of us, we use 3 to 4 months to do that same thesis. It's also a work experience. It depends on how you structure it and how you put it out. So it's not only having a professional or a paid work that counts as a work experience. Anything that is outside of the classroom is also a work experience. Volunteer is also a work experience, depending on how you structure it to make it appealing to the person reading it. Yeah, so even with your little work experience, I believe that your internship, your undergraduate thesis, your volunteers, and it's something that you have done outside the classroom can count as a work experience. The only thing is that it depends on how you structure it. Yeah, it is the content of the essay, of the story, that makes the difference.
Yeah. Remi, do you want to come in? Okay, I'll just move on.
No, yeah,
okay.
please.
Okay. So choosing the right schools. Choosing the right schools. Could you address that? Does it mean that I have to what schools I'm choosing at? I think there are different things that depends on what schools you could be your course, could be whatever you're looking at. But Remi, could you take that?
Yes, Judith. Okay, so I'd start by saying you want to balance ambition with realism, right? If you check the school requirements and you think that you might not maybe you don't have the things that you're asking for. There's some schools that are or courses that maybe they want a certain grade and they're strict about it and you don't have. I don't think it pays you to insist on applying to those schools. So what I think is you want to apply across board or pick if you're keen on going for an Ivy League school, for instance, you can apply, but you ensure that you're not just picking all Ivy League schools. You want to spread your tentacles, maybe pick an Ivy League and 2 other schools that are not, but that you will still love if you had to go to any of them. Yes, and then apply where your course aligns with CSE development themes, right? So it was a no-brainer that I would include the University of Sussex in my own application because I know how big they were on development, right? And what they were doing for energy and climate and stuff. So look beyond the names and look beyond how well does this school and the course they're willing to offer. Like you have to even go to check the course and check the models. That's the kind of research you want to do. Oh, this is the module. Oh, it's on finance. Oh, I already have a background in finance. Okay, this one will teach me more things than I already know. That's the importance of research. You want to understand what each course gives you and how it aligns with the CSE development theme. That would make life easy for you because it would help you write your essay better. You are more convincing because they understand how important that course is to you. So I think that's that.
Yeah. So, but Remi, what do I do if I don't feel ready to apply?
If you don't feel ready to apply, I would say that if you have the time, it wouldn't hurt to just go ahead. Because what that tells you is you can learn from whatever if you don't get it. I mean, you might be shocked you will get it. I've had stories of people who will tell you, oh, I applied the day before. I'm not saying you should do that. I would never recommend that. But it is obvious that maybe they were not ready or maybe they were busy, but they did and they got it. You never know. It doesn't hurt. If it doesn't take away from you, apply. If you get it, amazing, and it makes for a wonderful testimony. And if you do not get it, it tells you that, okay, you need to do more work the next time. And sometimes you would think you've done amazing, you're ready, you've done so much, and you don't get it. You don't give up. I mean, you don't give up. That's just life.
Yeah. Honestly, I was in this position. I didn't feel like I could even win the scholarship because I was applying to multiple schools. I had a scholarship in another university where I was preparing for. I didn't feel like I would get the scholarship because one, my course, it's one of the most expensive in my university, and they were only doing for one person. I had only one slot. Other courses had like 3-4 people in that slot. You know, when you feel like there are 4 slots, it feels more like easier but to think that it's just one slot. And also I didn't get my third recommendation from my academic supervisor, who was the head of our department. So I felt like I had already given up on it because I didn't feel like I was prepared enough but I had put in my application anyway. And then I got nominated for it to be on the reserve list and then upgraded into the full scholarship. So please just give it a go. You never know, because when it turns out well, I'm telling you, it's one of the most transformative experiences you would ever have. And the thing about the scholarship is that it's not just academic experience, it's how you are brought into the whole ecosystem of the Commonwealth. And how that opens you to multiple and different opportunities altogether. It's not just academics, it's beyond academics. So it's a lot of training, it's a lot of leadership experiences. It's how this scholarship in itself gives you some credibility. When I stand in a room and I say I'm a Commonwealth scholar in an academic area, like, people just keep quiet and listen to you because they think you're smart. So I'm not just saying all of them, but these are some of the perks that comes with it. And so just go ahead and apply anyway. We'll jump into the fifth one, which is our experiences and sharing on practical tips. Your personal journey. So could you just share briefly, Remi, your personal journey, some of the things you prepared, how you were very intentional about the process in applying? What are some of the things you think you did that you would advise someone to critically pay attention to those top things, and some of the common pitfalls to avoid? I think we've discussed more of these things. And yeah, so could you just share something in relation to your personal journey, how this has opened some doors for you and why you would recommend this scholarship to anybody.
Okay, Jay, thank you. Just a minute.
Sure.
Okay, so personal journey. Okay, so I would say that I didn't apply and get it the same year. I think so. I'd applied the year before for shared. I didn't get it. In fact, I was shocked when I saw the email. I'm like, no, I did so well. That was a fantastic essay, but I didn't get it. And so the next year I tried both masters and shared, and I got both. And this dovetails into what I was telling you earlier. You don't give up just because you got to know. You never know the amount of yeses you will get when you try again. And then coming over, or before going there, what I would say to do that can make you stand out. What is coming to my mind is, I remember when I was going for the master's scholarship interview, at the the Federal Scholarship Board. I mean, you would find a lot of amazing persons there. But I remember when I was done with my interview, the people around, the support staff, even before the comment of the interviewers, one of them came to me and said, "You're going to get this." And he didn't say it because he had seen their results or anything. There was just something about me and the way I was collected and everything. I remember going with my documents. They didn't ask me to do this. I had a sticky note, just arranging everything to make it easy for them. When they were not scrambling when they were looking for my documents like they did for every other person. So imagine out of thousands of people, and you're the person bringing them some sort of relief because of how organized you are. So you can see how you wouldn't think of that, but that's to tell you that when you're excellent, you want it to show in everything that you're doing, not just the application, who you are as a person, the way that you dress. For those of you that will be going for the interviews, you just want to stand out because there will be a billion fantastic persons there. So you want to do the extra, right? So journey so far, it's been amazing, like Judith said. It's beyond academics. I have gotten opportunities that are beyond just coming here to get a master's degree. I've gotten an appointment with an organization. I've had cause to sit with the Royal House and the UK government, talking policies with the powers that be, places that I never imagined I would be just because I got the scholarship at first. So you can imagine this is the list. Getting the scholarship is the list. It will open you up to a new world. And that's why no matter what, I want you to always remember, even whatever happens, don't give up. Keep trying. And one day you just might be at the end of this divide. Yeah.
We would open, thank you so much, Remi. We would open the floor now for questions. So if you have a question, you could just raise your hand and then we would pick up. So kindly, we will just open up the floor. Anybody with a question? Or should we start with some of the questions in the chat box? Let me check if we have questions in the chat box. So please confirm applications for PhD scholarship can only be done by National Nominating Agency or any NGO. If so, for the NGO, do you need to be a member of it, or you can just approach them? And so currently, Jifa, unfortunately, currently even Ghana has been taking off the PhD. So now I think there are specific countries that the Commonwealth funds strictly the full PhD. Ghana has been taken off as of last year, unfortunately. I think Nigeria is still on the list. But there is still the opportunity for the split side where you start the PhD in your home country and then come to the UK for the 1 year. But then it's important to approach the NGO to make the inquiries, check the website and see what are the requirements and eligibility requirements or whatever positions you, but I don't think you have to be a member of the NGO to be able to do that. And also PhD scholarships, also it's important to note, honestly, let me put this in. If you apply for a master's or a PhD in a UK university, aside the Commonwealth Scholarship, also check what funding are available from other options. Don't just look at Commonwealth, because studying here is a wonderful experience, and I think it's also good to also check other funding opportunities. It happened for me. I had a full funding in one school, but then I decided to go with the Commonwealth Scholarship because it's a much more prestigious scholarship that brought me into a whole different system and would open better doors for me. That's why I chose the Commonwealth Scholarship. So there are funding opportunities. They can fully fund, give you stipend, everything. So check other opportunities that can help with the study as well. And then network coverage. No, I saw a question about. Please, are we uploading the reference letters by ourselves or an email will be sent to our referees? Raphael, could you handle this?
Where is the question? The
Are
reference.
are we uploading it or we send a link?
Oh, okay. All right. So for the Commonwealth Master's Scholarship, you upload the references yourself. But for the shared scholarship, Commonwealth will notify you. That is, if you are nominated, Commonwealth will notify you that they have sent you a link to your referee to upload your reference letter on it. So when you get that notification, usually in an email form, then you quickly let your referee know that this is what you have received and alert him or her to also check their email to upload the reference letters, because it normally takes, I think, about 2 weeks. For the references to be uploaded.
Can someone apply for CSC when the deadline for their nominating agency has passed? Well, I did apply for the agency, but then currently the Commonwealth Scholarship itself, where you get nominated through the agency, is open. The Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, the one where you are nominated, where you apply, the funding is by both the UK University and the Commission, opens early November. So it's important to keep your eyes or your attention on the platforms because that scholarship is not open yet. That opens early November. But then the Commonwealth Scholarship itself is currently open and the deadline is 14th October. So it's important to take advantage of that. Could you answer that question? Can someone apply for the CSC when the deadline for the nominating agencies pass? I don't think you can apply for any scholarship when the deadline is up, but then can someone would say,
I think you are applying to your nominating agency. So when the deadline is passed, I think that's just it. It's just that you apply as early as possible to avoid some of these setbacks and challenges.
So someone's asking, for those applying for Chevening, are there webinars like this that you can recommend? Yeah, there are so many. I've seen a number of them I think I've seen 3 of them even on LinkedIn. Would you recommend applying for both scholarships? Why not? Honestly, they are not the same. I don't know, but in my opinion, from what I said, I think you can apply. Raphael, what do you think? Can you apply for both?
Yes, you can apply for both.
I do. But honestly speaking, if you get a Commonwealth scholarship, honestly, I'm not going to. This is not just me trying to pitch Commonwealth because they don't give you money to even do anything. Commonwealth scholarship positions you in such a much better position. You come into a whole different ecosystem of the Commonwealth. Chevening is a prestigious scholarship. I'm not saying don't apply for it. You can apply for both. If you get Chevening, you're great. But the experience, when it comes to the experience of studying in the UK, Commonwealth has an upper hand. That is capped. There's nothing that precedes it. I don't know. Remi, I'm trying to pitch Commonwealth.
I see that.
But
you're doing a good job.
Honestly speaking, that is it. But then, apply for Chevening, apply for Commonwealth in all positions. So let's take Emmanuel. I see Emmanuel here. Emmanuel Chimayobi. I'm sorry if I mentioned it wrong.
Judith, if you don't mind, before Emmanuel comes on board, just so I don't forget, as to the question on can I apply to CSC for the scholarship if the deadline for the agency has passed? I think I really want to be sure that everybody on this call understands the difference between the master scholarship and the shared. They are both masters. You can apply for both at the same time just to expand your options. right? And even if, let's say you're going for the master's and you don't want to apply for the shared, for instance, and you do the master's and the agency deadline has passed and you've
Yeah.
already applied to them to let them know. It doesn't matter, you can
Yeah.
now apply, but I doubt that the agency's deadline will be before
Mm.
Commonwealth's deadline. But just,
Yeah.
you know what, all you need to do is go to their websites and just be abreast of all of these deadlines. Write it down so you
Yeah.
don't forget and you're good
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah. Emmanuel, kindly ask your question. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'm a bit confused about this agency
Okay.
thing. I'm in Nigeria currently, in Abuja. So I'm a bit confused. How do I go about this agency? Like, is everything done online or I have to go there physically? Like, I don't understand. I heard that the agency is the scholarship board of the country. And I'm hearing deadline again. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that Commonwealth has deadline. But the agency is what I'm a bit confused at. Has anybody done this scholarship from Nigeria? The person can just guide me. I think it's to be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. I will take that, Emmanuel. So I did get the one, I did do it from Nigeria and I applied to the scholarship board. So this is what you want to do. The Commonwealth Scholarship, the one you make on the scholarships website, I think the deadline for that is October 14th or 7th now. And so you apply. Wonderful. What you then do is keep checking from the day that you apply, you keep checking the Federal Scholarship Board's website for a release of their timetable. So like early November, they will release a timetable saying, oh, from the 6 political zones in Nigeria, if you're from the Southwest, you need to come to Abuja on November so and all that. So when you get that timetable, you know the date you have to travel to Abuja. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to submit anything to them. Once you apply to CSC, that's the Commonwealth Commission, just keep checking the Scholarship Board's website to get a date for your geopolitical zone. On that day or the day before, make sure that you're in Abuja, so that's easy. On that day, just go there with all your documents. On the website, they will tell you all the documents you have to come along with, right? And then it's that simple. You attend your interview, you go back home, you await an email from the commission. That's the Commonwealth Commission now on whether or not you have a scholarship. It's that simple. I hope that's clear.
Yes, it is clear.
Okay.
It is clear.
Okay. Edson, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hello, good evening.
Hello. Good
So
evening.
thank you for this opportunity. I'm Edson here, I'm from Mozambique. And I'm here because I want your advice. It's my first time trying to apply for Commonwealth.
Okay.
I'm geologist. I'm geologist and I've knowledge about mining too. So I would like to know about mining sector because as we know, many people have misconception about the mining sector. And I believe that these sectors, can have disadvantage, mainly when we are talking about the environment system. But this sector can bring something good for promoting growth for a country, for example. And I want to use this ideology to apply for the scholarship because we are seeing that we can see nowadays the growing demand for critical minerals and this opportunity to many African countries to grow. So I would like to use it to apply for the Commonwealth Scholarship. So do you believe that I would be wasting time by applying, or you advise me to go ahead and try, even though people have a lot of misconception of mining? And I would like to know too if there are some online page that I could use to see shortlisted course, because I don't want to waste my time applying knowing that I will not succeed.
Yeah. Raphael or Remi. So in terms of mining, your background is mining and all of that, and you want to be able to apply for the scholarship.
Yes.
and see. Yeah. So honestly, I think you don't have to necessarily just target a course that is strictly on mining. What the whole what the scholarship is offering you is, with the background you have, what is the course that is in relation? It could be in relation to policy, it could be in relation to development, it could be in relation to sustainability. What are some of the courses just look at the courses that the Commonwealth is funding and pick something that has some sort of relation or link to what you've already done so far, and then how that can be able to help amplify and position you to contribute to your community, to your country, and its development. I don't know whether you get me. So it doesn't have to narrow down to just mining. It could be on policy. You can do a course on environmental policy. What are some of the policies? And then focus your dissertation work or your thesis on mining and what some of these policies could be able to help transform or help your country. And what are some of the positions globally? How does it narrow down to your country? What are the areas that your country is lacking? And what do you think that you've identified that gap and say that, okay, this course I'm going to do, this is what I have done so far, and this is a gap I have identified, and this is what I think pursuing this master's in the UK when I'm funded by the commission is going to help me identify or get some solutions in this area to help my country. I hope I'm making some sense.
Yes, very clear.
Yeah. So
then
yeah. So
I think
please. Yeah.
I want to add something. So, Edson, you said you are from mining. So for me, my background is in biochemistry. Yeah, biochemistry. And then the program I'm going to do currently is in engineering, environmental process engineering. But as Judith said earlier on, you just have to link your current situation to what you intend to do. So I found myself in the water industry, but with a biochemistry background. So how does biochemistry relate to water treatment? And how does water treatment help in advancing environmental protection and then all those things? So if you're able to link all those things, then you'll be able to get what you want. So you don't really have to get what you are doing, or your background shouldn't be directly related to the program you are doing. If you have a policy, as Julie said earlier on, you have a development idea, just go ahead and implement it.
Okay, so maybe I should.
Oh, Remi, okay.
Thank you, Judith. I just wanted to back both of you up to say that I could say that that happened to me. I mean, I'm a lawyer, I studied law, I've been practicing law, but I'm here doing a master's in energy and climate policy. So the trick to it is to just link whatever you desire, your interest, what you've been trying to do, to whatever course you choose. But I also want to say that don't write off or don't work with the idea that you won't find something related to the course you studied. My question to you would be, have you gone to the website? Because already on the website, you'll find schools, links to each of the schools that are working with the Commonwealth. So you click on that school based on the theme that you are under, and then you'll be surprised to find a course that is in tandem with what you study. So don't already write yourself off before you go do that research. So do that, and then based on it, you can reach a decision. I also wanted to say that I have put on the group for Emmanuel, for every Nigerian that is going to apply through the scholarship board, the exact kind of advert you would look out for on the website, the one for 2022. I already put it up in the chat box, so you can go check it.
Yeah. So just to bring in briefly, the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission has development teams. And these are the teams and areas where it's aligned to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We have the Science and Technology for Development, strengthening health systems and capacity, promoting innovation and entrepreneurship, strengthening global peace and security and governance, strengthening resilience and responses to crisis, access, inclusion, and opportunity. And I'm telling you, honestly, almost every subject under development falls under these teams. So positioning yourself, that is what I keep saying. It's about how you're able to link your past experience to the masters you want to do and why the commission should fund you. So it's important to do your research and then move from there. Haruna, can we go on next? Haruna, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on your own time zone. My name is Aruna. Now, the question I want to ask is that you guys, you just mentioned that there happens to be a website. Because of the site I'm seeing, I was trying to register for the Commonwealth this morning. So I was looking for the site that would give me the registered university affiliated with Commonwealth, that Commonwealth actually funds. Now, another question I would like to ask is it compulsory you've secured like 2 admissions, like admission from the 2 universities listed out on a particular flyer that they released, I think like 4 weeks ago? Like, is it compulsory you must have secured the admission before the October 14 deadline? That's another question. Another question I would like to ask is, I don't know if you guys have like a WhatsApp platform, like a platform where after this meeting, you could actually go to that platform to be asking questions. So that was just my question.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Haruna. Except I did not apply through an agency. I applied through Shared Scholarship. So I applied to 2 schools. I got admission in both schools. I got the Commonwealth Scholarship in one. The other did not give me the Commonwealth Scholarship. So it's important that you get an offer if you're applying for Shared Scholarship. It's important that you have an offer from the university. It can be a conditional offer or an unconditional offer. What we say a conditional offer is you have been given an offer, but then it's dependent on a condition. A condition likely most of the time is because you've not written your English test. The school wants you to submit an English test. Also, an unconditional offer is you've been given an offer. And so it's important because the more offers you have, the better your chances of getting a scholarship. So yes, so it doesn't matter if you have admission in 5 schools. It doesn't matter at all. If you have that offer, it positions you to either go on a reserve list for the scholarship or to be given a full scholarship. I needed to write my IELTS. I got a conditional offer where I needed to write my English test. Not because the commission wanted me to write it, but because the university demanded it. So it's important that you get an offer, whether it's conditional or unconditional, and then it positions you to be able to get a scholarship. I don't know for Remi, for the agency, how does it work?
Okay, I would say that for either the agency scholarship or for the shared, where you don't need to go through an agency, just apply to CSC.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you don't need to have an offer before the deadline. No. Now the deadline is October. You can if you can't apply to either of the schools, maybe you're busy and you've applied for the scholarship before the deadline, that is fine. But just make sure that immediately after you start applying, so that by the time, for instance, those that want to do via agency, by the time they are calling you for interview in November, you can go with offer letters to like sort of improve your chances that you know what you're doing. But you don't need to get the offers now before the deadline. You don't.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. So we have Haruna Sei Agbola. Could you unmute and ask your question?
Hello. Hi. Thank you very much for this. I shared my question in the chat box twice now, but I guess someone is getting missed. So I wanted to ask if you could share some tips, advice, or just general information on the process of reaching out to prospective supervisors, because you would need that for a PhD application. Yes, so that was my question.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so it's important for PhD applications. It's important. It's not like it's a mandatory thing for you to reach out to a potential supervisor, but it makes your application stronger when you have proof to say that, okay, I have spoken to a potential supervisor. He or she has agreed to work with me on this project, and so I'm going ahead with. So it makes sure it doesn't mean that it's mandatory. One way to go about it is to reach out to them through their faculty emails. So go through the school's university website, get the faculty, whatever department you're applying to, or whatever department you want to send your application to, check the faculty and check the people that the faculty has mandated to supervise PhD work, and then find whose work aligns with your work, who has done something in the area you're trying to do the research. It is so important, because if you are doing chemistry or you are doing something really off, let me not use chemistry before people start saying I'm using chemistry as a bad, but then if you're doing something that is far off from what they have done, you may not be able to get them on board. But then it's important that whatever work you're trying to do aligns with a potential supervisor's work. That makes you more stronger. And then you could also, if you've reached out to them personally and you're not responding, you could also reach out to the administration of the department and say that I've reached out to these people, or I've reached out to this person and they're not reaching out. Could you link me to them? And it's important that you add a proposal. Your proposal of whatever you want to do, draft a very strong proposal that clearly spells out what the project you want to do. Also, sorry, someone's speaking. So draft a strong proposal, and if it will be nice, I'm not saying it's mandatory, it will be nice that whoever you're trying to, whatever potential supervisor you're looking at, you put their work in it, you make references to their work and how that work blends or has some sort of synergy with what you're doing. And that's why you're trying to propose them as well. So it makes, because professors love it when you cite their work in your own work as well. So I hope this helps in some way. If you're not reaching them, please reach out to the administration and tell them. So when you reach out to the administration, you also add your proposal, that this is the proposal, if they could also send it and forward it to them. But first of all, reach out to them through their emails and the contacts provided on the website, and then you can move from there. Does this help? Hello? Say, does this help in any way?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Don't
thank you so
mention.
much.
Hello.
I saw a question. Is there someone talking? I'm a person with disability. What are my chances? You have full chances. You have full. I think our badge had someone with a limb disability and someone who was blind. I really admire his courage so much, especially the blind gentleman. So you have there are no discrimination. It's fully inclusive. You can, and please, like we mentioned, tell your story. Don't hide. Don't make it feel like you feel sorry for yourself or whatever. Please tell it and let that show through. That would, and it could even position you, honestly, it could even position you in a better position than so many other people. So please go ahead. Don't let that limit you. You have all chances in this world to be able to apply for it, and just go for it. If I'll suggest a WhatsApp platform. Hello, is that Raphael?
Okay. Yes, I actually want to give some bonus to the Ghanaians on the platform, especially the ladies. I have realized that not every year we have only few females from Ghana that are nominated. I don't know whether if they don't apply or they have applied, but for ladies in Ghana, please and please just apply, because you have a very, very high chance. In our batch, I think we have only 4 ladies out of 18.
Really?
So yes.
We had more ladies.
Yeah. So you have a higher line. So the Ghanaian ladies, the Ghanaian females.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Just put in your best. But for the males, I'm not trying to say that they won't favor you. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So I graduated with a 3.2 out of 4.0. That limits my chances of winning the scholarship or I can still give it a shot. Okay, I think that has been responded to in the but yeah, sorry, excuse me. It's like we're saying, if you know your GPA does not meet the cut when it comes to the scholarship, add your professional experience and let that shine through. Pitch yourself. I always say I use pitch yourself because it's like you're pitching yourself to a board to invest in you. So position your experiences you have and combine that. And then also it's critical. Let me bring this up because I just got some knowledge on this, that sometimes you don't graduate with a good GPA, not because you were bad academically, but it's if you may have faced some challenges during your academics. Let that shine. Let them know about that. I know somebody who did not make the cut for the GPA, but then she mentioned her academic challenges she had experienced and all the things she faced during. That's why she was not able to make the cut. So she made that statement and it helped her and pushed her to get a scholarship. So let that, and also you could also use your overall class ranking. There are people who may not have done so well in the academics, but in their overall class ranking of that category of that class, they may be in the top 5 or even the top 10. Use that because it positions you well. So out of like a class of 50 or 40, you were top 3 or you were top 5, but then you did not get a first class or you did not get a second upper. It still positions you in a strong way. So there are different ways and means for which people do not make the cut for GPA, but then talk about your academic struggles you had, but then also add your professional experience and how investing in you can be able to make a better impact for your country. So positioning, like I come back to the same thing, positioning and tell a more coherent story. Yeah.
I think I would actually use myself as an example of what you said, Judith. Like I actually had some setback during my undergraduate studies. I was working full time while doing my undergraduate in biochemistry, which biochemistry is like one of the challenging programs. So at a point in time in level 300, I had to retake a course. I had to retake a course.
So
because of the time I had to give.
Just setback.
And then in level 400 level 400 too. Whilst I was writing examination, doing my project thesis, unfortunately, I lost my dad. So I did something. So I used those situations. It's not that I was academically bad, but it was the situations that came about. So just use whatever happened and tell them the reason. That's it.
Like all of this we are saying, if ChatGPT doesn't know that you lost your dad and that is why you were low academic, you can't it does not reflect in your essay. And these are some of the things they want to read. Do you get me? So ChatGPT may tell you made this GPA and that, but how does your real self reflect in your essays? And someone is asking, can you apply for Commonwealth without getting a confirmed admission for a UK university? I don't think so. I think Commonwealth relies heavily on you applying to a university. I don't know for the agency, but for the shared scholarship, you need to have applied to a UK university and gotten an offer from the university, like I said, either conditional or an unconditional offer. That is what positions you to be able to be nominated for a Commonwealth scholarship. Remi, do you have to apply to UK? You mentioned this even earlier, But
so I said
that
you don't have to, how do I put it now? You don't have to apply to the schools before you apply for the scholarship. Apply for the scholarship if you feel you don't have an offer yet, then apply to the schools. But what Judith is saying is just know that if you don't get the admission, you won't get the scholarship. That's just what she's trying to say.
So tips on advice on reaching. Okay, I've answered this for So how about using AI to refine? So we addressed this earlier. We're saying that you can write out whatever you want to write it out yourself, write out your own experience, write out what the experiences have been. And then if you want AI to just correct your grammar or make it look presentable, that is fine. but then don't rely heavily on AI to give you essays. You will put yourself in a very disadvantaged position. The important thing, what they want to see, is to see your personality shine through the essays and let it reflect. That is the most important. So if somebody's reading an AI generated content, but it's just projecting things, it's evidence. If they compare it to somebody who has already written it themselves, they know it. These are humans. They know when an essay is fake and they know when an essay is genuinely written. So please, let's not rely. You're saying, yes, you can use AI, but like I mentioned earlier, there are people who have been able to train an AI to be able to talk like them or reflect certain things, but it takes some level of training to get there. But then most important thing is write out the essay yourself and let AI refine it for you. That's the most, so don't rely so much on it. Can you kindly shed light on requirements to return home after the scholarship? Are there any exceptions? So we didn't talk about this. The scholarship requires that you go back to your home country. It's not like the rigid thing with the shifting where you have to go back for 1 year. But then there are exceptions where you've already you get a PhD admission. Let's say you had a PhD offer. There are some of people in our cohorts that have had a PhD offer and are starting their PhD this month. So that is an exception for you. There are other people, and if you have extreme circumstances where you feel like you can write to the board to ask if you can stay on in the UK, but then your visa ends. Recently in our year, they extended, instead of going back after 1 month of your studies, we can go before. We've been given the freedom to stay on in the UK until our visa expires. So yes, it's important that you go back to your home country. It's very important. Honestly, it's better for you, for your reputation as a Commonwealth scholar. It should be in the record that you came to the UK and you left the UK. Even if you want to come back, they say it clearly in the, I saw it, I was reading about it yesterday, that expenses are on you if you want to stay on and all of that. But then for your own sake, please go back to your home country after your studies. I would advise that. I don't know what Remi would say, but I would advise that.
I'm absolutely with you. Judith.
You have to come back. You have to come back because
you have to.
When you don't, it blocks the chances for others who also want to come, because if you don't, then they'll say that okay, these students, whenever they come, they don't like
go
to
back
return to their home country. So someone who genuinely wants to come and study there and go back, his or her chances are blocked. So it's good you come back.
Yeah. And your flight is already paid already to go back. So why not just go back? Honestly. So why waste that? So please, it's important to go back. If your essay is drafted yourself and you use AI to polish the essay, but an AI detector flags it as AI generated. This is not because I wrote my essays myself and I let AI polish it for me when I did my application. So it wasn't flagged. So I'm just saying, when you finish writing the essay and AI polishes it for you, please read it and you yourself judge for yourself. Does this sound right? Does it sound real? Does it sound human? Would somebody reading this see your personality shine through this essay? Ask yourself these questions. Do you get me? So I use AI to polish my work. Honestly, I wrote every essay. It's about 10 or 11 essays you write. I wrote everything myself and I let AI polish it for me. So it polish the grammar and make it sound nice, like make the English sound nice. So please don't be bothered about that. I don't know if we have more people with questions, but we have Gwendolyn, you can unmute and ask your question now. We'll be ending shortly, so kindly,
Right. Hi, thank you so much. Can I be heard clearly?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, that's good. So I also asked my question in the chat box, but it seems like it was missed.
It's not been. Oh, sorry.
I wanted to find out, in your personal opinion, would you advise someone who is fresh out of school to apply, knowing that professionals and people with work experience have more of an advantage? Would you encourage fresh out of school people to just take their chance and apply?
Oh, yes. Why not? Because I say this because sometimes there are people who have done volunteering work during their degree, and because when I did my undergrad in law, I had done a lot of volunteering work in firms and all of that. So I use not that I have professional experience before applying, but I'm saying that if you have any little experience in terms of, it could be volunteering, it could be church volunteering, it could be community volunteering, it could be some NGO thing you've done. It doesn't have to be strictly some professional, like, do you get me, context of work you've done, experience, like Raphael has over 8 years of experience. No, you can still apply, but like I mentioned earlier, it's not so much about it's not, yeah, in as much as it's not heavily dependent on academics and you need some professional experience, you can use whatever little form of experience you've gained through, and I know a lot of people do church related work and things. People have done things within their own family settings. People have done things even on freelance basis. You can cite in, and some of the, please, let's not underestimate any experience we've done. It could even be a small project you did in the school during your degree. Use it because it shows potential. What positions you to show that you are somebody worth investing into is what makes you stand out, and how you clearly communicate that. It's not just about just stating that you did it. It's about how you clearly communicate that to the degree you want to do, and how that can potentially affect the work you want to do in your future. So please don't underestimate your academic experience. Please don't underestimate any informal experience you have. It can position you well. Just communicate it clearly. I hope that helps.
Yeah. Actually,
please, if you want to add up in it, yeah.
Yes, in our batch, there is actually one guy who was in his final year law school and applied. He got it. He even got the confirmation of award, financial award, before he even completed his school.
The school,
so, yes. So you can apply. Your thesis project is also an experience. Internship, volunteer, anything.
Anything. Please don't underestimate any experience at all. Please don't. Elijah, please unmute and ask your question.
Okay. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
I'm sorry. I think I lost network, but I'm back now. I've got a simple question. As you go along the, okay, by the way, I'm Elijah Banda from Malawi. Okay, as you go along the Commonwealth application portal process, there is a section. There is a section that stipulates on us putting. Okay. In a nutshell, the section states that we need to put distinction or any awards we bagged when we are at the university. So, for instance, like in my case, so far I've not gotten any distinction or any academic certification. Of course, I got a credit, but I'm petrified. I'm kind of afraid. If, for instance, I didn't indicate that I got a distinction or any awards or any prizes, does it have any drawback in terms of you applying for a scholarship? That's my question. Yes.
Remi, would you want to handle this, or Raphael? I think we have to ginger Elijah to go for it, because
So Elijah, I'm using myself as an example. I never had any award or any academic accolade or anything. To be frank, I never had any of those things. But what I had, I used it. I did volunteering. I led. I was a chorister, so I had a leadership position in the choir. during our undergraduate, we were given a project, a course that is like a project. We were divided into groups, and then I took it upon myself to lead the group because I want to use it as an example. So you don't necessarily have to get an award or anything. Anywhere you find yourself relevant, even if you are a member of this group, how did you play your role? You did this, you did that, and then the group has done this, the group has achieved this. It's an achievement. It is enough. And then also how you put out the essays, how you present them. Somebody will have all those awards, the volunteering, academic, certificate, and then all those things with even a perfect GPA or near perfect GPA. But if the person isn't able to communicate very well, he will not get it, while the other person will be disadvantaged, but the way he or she communicates will convince the panel to choose you over the person who is academically successful. So I urge you to let's give it a shot. Give it a shot. And then also let me chip in this. Say a prayer. Yes, just pray about it. If you believe in God, yes. If you believe in God, just pray about it.
Thank you.
So honestly, I know someone who had a GPA of 3.9, but could not tell the story well, could not position themselves well. So like we're saying, I didn't have a first class, but I applied. And how did you just have to position yourself. You have to communicate your story with clarity. Pitch yourself, like I'm saying. If you don't have the academic, all those credentials that makes you confident. There are people with it and they still never get it. So it's not just about academics. It's about how are your experiences going to help and connect with development and impact and all of that. It's how you clearly communicate your story, please. So don't let that put you back at all. And like we are saying, there are people with even lower GPAs who have been able to get a scholarship because they told their story with clarity, with confidence, and pitched themselves in a way that they convinced the panel to give them the money. It's like you're standing in front of someone and telling them that if you invest in me with this and this and this money, I will show you, I will do this, I will do that. So please, and we're not saying don't be delusional and overly ambitious. We're saying combine ambition with reality and then tell your story well. I mean, there's no better advice, honestly. Tell your story well. Tell it with clarity. Tell it with confidence. And don't look down on yourself. If you don't leave here with anything, please don't look down on yourself. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't underestimate any experience at all. Go for it. Do your best you can do with application and just live it. I'm a person of faith. I live it in the hands of God. I do my part. I live the rest in the hands. Don't just go in blindly and think that God will write your essays for you. Write the essays yourself. Do whatever work you have to do yourself and leave the rest in the hands of God. All right. Any more questions? I don't think we have to because you have to close in about 5 minutes. So if you have any more questions briefly, we've not answered it, just raise your hand or just unmute and just ask your question. All right. If not, just last words.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. We
So
can hear
I was
you.
asking for the universities, is it that we can apply to any university in the UK after the Commonwealth Scholarship?
So there are selected UK universities that the scholarship funds. It's on the website. So you just have to search in the bar what UK universities that Commonwealth Scholarship funds, and it gives you the list. I don't think it's all the UK universities, but it is the top universities in the UK. You're coming to very good schools that they are really good, top. A lot of them are UK Russell Group, what we call the Ivy League in the US. So you come in and then you get into some of these schools, but then please check the UK universities, the Commonwealth funds. Check within that university what courses the Commonwealth funds, because the Commonwealth doesn't fund every course in the university. Okay, and then narrow down your focus like that, because there are people who have applied to a course later to find out that the Commonwealth Scholarship does not fund that course. So to avoid all of that hassle, please do your research on the UK university itself, and then as well as on the Commonwealth website itself. It's a lot of reading. Please, if you're somebody who struggles with attention to detail, correct, like, I don't know, work on it, because you need to read a lot to be able to know that this is what I have to do and this is what I don't have to do. So please pay attention to all the details, because you may miss out just by some little mistake you make and all of that. So please don't put yourself in that position. I didn't get the first hour of the call due to network. How can I get it? So we've recorded it. I would figure out how to do this, but then some people have also recorded it. We could share with you. You could send me an email, and then we'll do that. How do we get it recorded? All right. So Remi, any last words? I think we can come to an end now. Last words. Raphael, we could start with you. Any last words of encouragement, of top things
Right.
you would recommend that they never forget about going into this application here?
Okay. So the first thing I would say is that we are human beings, and then wherever there are human beings, there are challenges. Because if there are no challenges, we wouldn't be going to school, we wouldn't be advancing in health, we wouldn't be doing new things or coming out with new technology. So there is definitely a challenge. It only requires a solution. So look around you. The one that you are in tune with, just identify that challenge, present it very well, and you get a chance of what's being sponsored. That is one.
Yeah.
So, and then the second one is also that for the recommendation, when you are in school, don't be timid. You go to lectures, don't hide at the back. When they ask a question, then even if you don't know it, raise your hand. Let the people know you. Lecturers know you. Even if the lecturers know that, oh, this guy or this lady has a confidence that even if his or her answer is wrong, he or she is able to speak out. So have that good relationship with your lecturers, because when it comes to recommendation, it is who knows you that will write the very good thing about you. So that's good rapport with your lecturers to be able to get a recommendation. And then lastly, or which is also not the least, if you believe in God, pray to God about it. You put in the work, you pray to God to do the rest. That's it.
Yeah. Great. Remi, are you still with us?
Yes, Judith.
Great.
Here. Yeah, so I think I'll just say three things quickly. Number one, I already put it in the chat box just in case you didn't get to see it. Almost all the questions that you may have, have been answered on the CFC's website. Just go there and check. I mean, it's little work for what you want to get. Just go there and read it thoroughly, and you'll be surprised that you already have all your questions answered. Another thing I wanted to say is that the stress of going through this process is worth everything you're going to get. So don't be tired. Don't give up easily. Don't think, I'm on this 5th essay, I'm done, I'll do it again, or I'll do it later. Don't give in and don't give up. And the last thing I said, piggybacking on what Raphael said, is that whatever supreme being that you believe in, just pray to that being and trust that you've done your best and that being will do the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. This is honestly, I want to highlight the point that Remi said. The kind of work you're going to put in before the application is so little to what you're going to get. It is little in magnitude in comparison. What you're going to have here with this scholarship and what it gives you even beyond the academic experience is so profound that it is what every sweat and every sleepless night you're going to take to be able to research, to understand it, and to go into. And what I would say is don't underestimate yourself. That is one of the key things that limits people. Don't ever underestimate yourself. Don't ever underestimate any experience you have. Just communicate that story clearly. Position yourself in such a way that you are in a very strategic way for them to believe that you're worth investing into. And please, please, always pay attention to the detail. Clarity in communication is important. And if you want any information, go to the scholarship website. There is a lot of information. Take your time to read it. Put in the effort, persevere, because it is worth what it offers you. You will never regret it. I haven't, and I have not met any Commonwealth scholar who has ever regretted being funded by the Scholarship Commission. So thank you all so much for joining in. And we come to an end here. And if you want to connect, I've put in my LinkedIn in the chat box, and go through it. Some are also recommending Raphael is putting some of the essay templates and everything. I wish you all the best. And I know a lot of you are going to share your testimonies and all of it about how you went through. I hope this was helpful. And thank you all so much for joining in. Have a good evening, have a good afternoon, have a good morning. All right.
Thank you, Judith. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Amazing. Bye.